How do we solve linear equations? So for us to be able to solve linear equations, we generally, at the minimum, have two steps to do that. Number one is either you add the same number of expression or subtract the same number of expression from both members. So that is what I've mentioned previously or in the previous video, that when you add something on the left side, you should add it also on the right side to make the equation balanced, in the sense that we did not change the given. Hindi natin binago ang given, kaya kailangan kung anong idadagdag natin sa kaliwa, yun din ang idadagdag natin sa kanan. Same goes for subtracting. So whatever you deducted from the left side, you should deduct it also on the right side. Again, the reason is for the equation to remain balanced, or for the equation to remain in its given. The next step is you can either multiply or divide from both members, or divide or multiply both members by the same number not equal to 0, or expression that does not contain the unknown. So whenever you are dividing or multiplying something from to the left or the right side of the equation, number one is it should not be 0, okay, because that will make your equation 0 or undefined. And if you're going to multiply or divide, it should be an expression that does not contain the unknown, okay, because our target here is that we have to have the unknowns on the left side of the equation. There are cases wherein we divide or multiply both sides or both members of your equation because we are transposing, or we are changing the position of the unknown from the right. We are putting it to the left side of the equation. So in that case, you can either divide or multiply or divide the unknown from both sides of the equation. Okay. So let's have an example to do that. Number 1, let's get our notes for this. Okay, we are under linear equations. So let me write here. Okay, and we are solving for, this is solving linear equations. Okay, so the first question for us is number 1. Okay, we have to solve for the unknown. So most of this given, the unknown is x. So we have 4 times 3 minus x equivalent to 5 times 4 minus x. So let me just move this a bit to the left so that I'll have better space. Okay, so the idea here is still follow you can still follow PEMDAS, diba? You can still follow PEMDAS. That is in the sense that we must be able to remove all grouping symbols, or all parentheses. If there are exponents, you have to remove all of them. Because the idea is, if we want to move all the unknowns to the left side, we can only do that if we have removed all the parentheses, especially if your unknown or your variable x is inside the parentheses. So I have to remove all those parentheses, maybe by distribution, by distributive property, or it could be by factoring, okay, and the likes. So in this case, I have to distribute, diba? So that for me to be able to remove that parenthesis, I have to distribute. So this will be 12 minus 4x equal to, you have 20 minus 5x. The idea here is you have to have all the terms with the unknowns on the left side and all the terms without the unknown on the right side. So in this case, I have to move this. I have to move this here, while this one I have to move it to the right. Okay. Instead of doing it like an elementary student or a high school student, we'll go directly to transposition. So we know that if negative 5x is negative on the right side, if you transpose it to the right, that will make it positive. So you will have negative 4x, diba? You have negative 4x. Okay, that would be plus positive 5x. If you transpose it, that would be equivalent to 20. And then I'll be moving negative 12 positive 12, I'll be moving positive 12 to the right side. That will make it negative. Okay, in that case, I will have here x equivalent to 8. And this is our answer. Okay, if it is positive on the right side, you transpose it, reverse yung process. So from positive, it will be negative. And then from negative, it will be positive when you move them from one side of the equation to the other. Again, the concept or the target is you have to have all the unknowns on one side of the equation, just like what we did here. Okay, similar to what we did here. And then all the terms without unknowns, all the terms that does not contain the unknown on the right side of the equation, or all your constants on the right side of the equation. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Okay, second question is, you have x all over 18 minus 1 is equivalent to x all over 12 plus 2. Okay, what is the first thing to do? Other references will tell you to take the LCD first. Okay, because you have fractions. But for me, you can just move the fractions or move the terms with the unknown on the left side of the equation and all the constants on the right. And then afterwards, saka tayo mag-LCD. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, since this is one quantity, I'll move this to the left because it bears the unknown. And this one, I'll move it to the right. Okay, therefore, I will have there x all over 18. This is positive here, so moving it will make it negative. X over 12 equal to 2. This one is negative here, so if you move it to the right, that will be positive 1. Okay, x over 18 is the same as 1 over 18 times x, minus x over 12 is the same as 1 over 12 times x, and that will be equivalent to 3. Okay. Why did I do it like this? Because since we're college, we can now use your calculator, right? And that would be 1 over 18 minus 1 all over 12. And that will give you negative 1 over 36. Negative 1 over 36x is equivalent to positive 3. Or, you can do that manually. You can take LCD, right? So, you have to think of the least common denominator or least common multiple of 18 and 12, and that would be 36. So, doing that, you will have your solution as 36 divided by 18. That would be 2 times 1. So, we have 2 times x. Okay, minus 36 divided 12. That would be 3 times 1. So, that would be 3 times x. And that would be equivalent to 3. That's why we are able to arrive at negative 1x, diba? Negative 1x or negative x over 36 equal to 3. So in this case, you have negative x over 36, if I may write it that way. These two are just similar. Okay. What I'm going to do is multiply both sides by 36, right? Because I have 36 here, okay, divided to the unknown. So moving this to the right side means I have to multiply both sides by 36 to be able to cancel. At the same time, I can also multiply both sides by negative 1. Okay, or that will make it negative 36 for me to be able to remove this sign. So in that case, this will be cancelled. Negative will be positive. I'll be left with x on the left side equivalent to, you get negative 108. And that's my answer for number 2. Okay. The question I get the most from students is, what do you do? What do you do first when you're solving for the unknown? Do you add first? Do you subtract first? Do you multiply or do you divide first? Okay. For you to be able to know that, let us take number 3 as an example. So number 3 says you have 2 times x plus 2 plus you have x plus 3 quantity squared equivalent to x times x plus 5, okay, plus 2 multiplied to 17 halves plus x. Do I multiply both sides? Do I add both sides? What do I do? What do I first do when I'm solving for unknowns? First is, of course, as I've said kanina, when you deal with PEMDAS, our idea here is to be able to get all the unknowns on the left side. And you can only do that if you are free to move the unknown. And you will only be free to move the unknown if you have removed the parentheses. So that means I have to distribute all of this. Okay. In this case, for me to be able to remove the parentheses, I'll have to expand this term, right? Okay. Same with this one, I have to distribute this. Same with this one, I have to distribute this to remove all these parentheses. Okay. Next to that is, you have to think of when I have expanded or removed all the parentheses, what is the outermost operation in the expression? Let me give you another example. Okay, instead of solving this one, okay, let's say I have 3x plus 2 all over 12 plus 8 equal to 15. Okay, the first thing I will do is transpose 8 to the right side. Okay, and this will lead to 3x plus 2 all over 12 equal to 15 minus 8. In that case, the next thing I'll do is multiply both sides by 12. Okay, that will remove the denominator on the left side. The next thing I'll do, I'll have 3x plus 2 equivalent to 15 minus 8, that would be 7. 7 times 12, that would be 84. Right? Okay. And then I'll transpose this. I'll have 3x equal to 84 minus 2. And I'll get 3x equal to 82. And then I'll simply divide both sides by 3. And I'll get x as 82 over 3. Okay. How do I know which operation to do? How do I know that I will transpose 8 first, okay, then divide by 12? Why did I not multiply both sides by 12 first instead of transposing 8? Okay. What you're going to do is, for you to easily be able to visualize that, if your given is 3x plus 2 all over 12 plus 8 equal to 15, and you would want to move your constants to the right side, what is the first constant to move? Do I move 8? Do I move 12? Okay. What you have to do is assume a value in place of x. Okay, ganito. Isipin nyo lang. Mentally, you have to think, halimbawa, if I put 1 here, that will make this 3 times 1 plus 2 all over 12 plus 8, right? For me to be able to simplify this given, what do you do first? Diba? The first thing you will do is multiply this. That will give you 3 plus 2 over 12 plus 8. What's the next thing you'll do? The next thing I'll do is simplify this. Diba? That would be 5 over 12 plus 8. What's the next thing to do? I'll divide this. After being able to divide this, I will add 8 to that. Okay? So the question here is, what was the last thing you did? The last thing I did was to add 8. When you solve for the unknown, that's the first thing you will reverse. The last step, if the unknown assumes a value, the last step to get this expression will be your first step when you solve for the unknown. So my last step here is to add 8. That's why that's the first thing I did. I transposed 8 and in turn, I subtracted naman. Opposite to addition, I subtracted 8. After that, before I add 8, what did I do? I divided 5 by 12. So, that's second to the last step, diba? Of finding the value of this expression, if x is 1. So, since this is the second to the last, ibig sabihin, that's the second step you'll do. After transposing 8, you'll instead of divide, diba, you'll do the opposite. You'll multiply by 12 naman. Okay, halimbawa, I have here 13x plus 4, 4x plus 2, all over 15 equal to 5. So, since your last step here, diba, if you have values for the unknowns, I'll multiply this, I'll multiply this. After that, I'll add the 3. After that, after I take this answer, I'll divide it by 15. That's the last thing you'll do, divide by 15. That's why when you solve, you do that first. You reverse this operation, you multiply by 15. And this is what I personally call, doing the outermost operation first when you solve for the unknown. If there is a value, assuming x or assuming the unknown, what is the last step I'll do to be able to solve for the expression? And that last thing, let's say that's dividing by 15, that will be the first thing I will reverse when I solve for the unknown. Okay, so let's go back to the question. Number 3. Let me rewrite that. So question number 3 is 2 times x plus 2 plus x plus 3 quantity squared equivalent to x times x plus 5 plus 2 multiplied by 17 halves plus x. So as I said, I have to distribute this. I have to expand this thing because I have to remove the parentheses. Distribute, distribute. So what would happen is I'll get 2x plus 4, okay, plus expanding that square of a binomial, so I'll get x squared plus 6x plus 9. That would be equivalent to x squared, okay, plus 5x plus, I'll have here 17 plus 2x. The next thing to do is move or transpose all the unknowns on the left side. So looking at each side of the equation, you would notice that all the terms are separated to each other by addition or subtraction. So that means I can just freely move them. I do not need multiplication or division in this case. So you have to move all the unknowns on the left. That means I will move x squared, 5x, and 2x to the left side. So I'll be left with, what I do is I always copy the unknowns, the ones I want to retain. I copy them. So I'll start with 2x, okay, plus x squared plus 6x. And then I write immediately the ones I need to transpose from the right side. So I'll get negative x squared, transposing this, negative 5x, and negative 2x equal to. Next thing I do is I write what remained on the right side. So that's 17. And then that is followed by what I need to transpose from the left side. I mean, what is left on the right side, that's 17. And then that's followed by what I need to move from the left side to the right. So that's negative 4 and negative 9. So I write here minus 4, minus 9. And then I simplify each of the sides. So obviously, x squared will be cancelled because I have positive and negative of that. And then I can simply cancel also 2x because I have here negative 2x. In that case, I'll have 6x minus 5x. That will result to simply x, which is equivalent to 17 minus 4 minus 9. That gives me 4. Okay, and this is my answer. What I explained here, okay, about what you need to do first, you'll be able to realize this when we go to literal equation. Okay, so let's continue. We have 2 more examples. So number 4, I have x minus 3 all over 12 plus x minus 1 all over 6. That's equivalent to x plus 2 all over 9 minus 1. So conventionally, what you can do here is take an LCD, and that would be 36, right? The least common multiple I can have for 12, 6, and 9 would be 36. So, taking the LCD of each side, I'll have here 36 divide 12, that's 3. Okay, multiply to the numerator, that's x minus 3. Plus 36 divide 6, that's 6. Times the numerator, that's x minus 1. Equal to, I'll take the LCD of the right side also. So 36 divided by 9, that would be 4. Times the numerator, that's x plus 2. Minus 36 divided by the denominator, which is 1. Times 1, that gives me 36 as well. Since 36 appears on both sides of the equations in the denominator, I can simply multiply both sides by 36, and that would eliminate the denominator. That will cancel this. And I will result to the numerator, which I have to free the unknowns because they're inside the parentheses, which means I have to distribute. So I'll get 3x plus 9, 3x minus 9 plus 6x minus 6. That would be equivalent to 4x plus 8 minus 36. Since all of the terms are separated by addition or subtraction, I can just simply transpose them from the left and the right. So I'll get 3x plus 6x minus 4x. Diba? 3x plus 6x. I copy first the unknowns, and then I get the unknown from the right side, move it to the left. So I'll get negative 4x equal to, I copy what retained on the right side, that's 8 minus 36. And then I moved the constants from the left to the right. So I'll get positive 9, right? Positive 9 and positive 6. So simplifying this, I will get 9x minus 4x, so that's 5x, equal to, I have here 8 minus 36, so that's negative 28, plus 9, that's negative 19, plus 6, that's negative 13. And then, to solve for x, since it is multiplied by 5, I have to divide both sides by 5 to cancel this. So I'll get x equal to negative 13 over 5. How do you check your answers if you want? What you can do to check your answers is substitute your solution to the original equation. And that is by your calculator. Your calculator can help you with that. So that would be fraction. So fraction, I have x minus 3. So I'll have negative 13 over 5. Negative 13 over 5. Okay. Minus 3 all over 2, 12. Okay. I'm simply substituting x here. Okay. Plus, I need another fraction. So I'll have x minus 1. So that's negative 13 over 5. Minus 1 divided by 6. Okay. And this will be equivalent to negative 16 over 15. Substituting, that will result to negative 16 over 15 on the left side. Okay. And then let's check the right side. So I'll have here, there, x plus 2. So I need the fraction again. X, which is negative 13 over 5. Negative 13 over 5. Okay, x plus 2. All over 9. Okay, all over 9. Minus 1. And that resulted to negative 16 over 15 also. Which shows that our answer is correct. Okay. An alternative to solving for is, I can separate these fractions. What I'll do is separate these fractions as simpler fractions. Ano nga? Instead of x minus 3 over 12, I write it as x over 12, diba? I can write that as x over 12 minus 3 over 12 plus, I can write that as x over 6 minus 1 over 6, diba? Equal to, I can write that as x over 9 plus 2 over 9 minus 1. What I'll do is copy all the terms with x on the left side. So I'll have x over 12 and then plus x over 6. Okay. Transpose all x's from the right to the left. So this will be minus x over 9. And then I'll get all the constants to the right. So you get 2 over 9 minus 1 plus 3 over 12 plus 1 over 6. What I'll do is get my calculator and simplify this. So that means I'll have here 1 over 12. So I have 1 over 12. Okay. Plus 1 over 6. So plus 1 over 6. Minus 1 over 9. Okay, and that will result to 5 over 36x equal to, I'll simplify this, so that's 2 over 9. That's 2 over 9. Okay, minus 1 plus 3 over 12. Okay, plus 1 over 6. And that will result to negative 13 over 36. As you can see, 36 appears on both sides of the equation, which I can cancel. If I multiply both sides by 36, I'll be left with 5x equal to negative 13. I'll divide both sides by 5 to get x, which is the same answer, negative 13 over 5. And that's my answer for number 4. That's 13 over 5. Negative 13 over 5. Okay. Next. Let's try to solve number 5. Number 5 given is you have 0.1x equal to 105 plus 0.05 times 300 minus x. Okay. So again, you have to remove all the parentheses, so you have to distribute this. So what I'll do is just copy 0.1x equal to 105 plus 0.05 of 300. 5% of 300, that would be 15. Okay, minus 0.05 times x. Again, what we do is have all the unknowns on the left side. So I'll have 0.1x plus 0.05x, okay, equal to 105 plus 15. So simplifying each sides, you get 0.15x, that's 0.1 plus 0.05, equivalent to 120. We divide both sides by 0.15 to get x. So this will be cancelled. We'll be able to have x equivalent to, let's get our calculator for this, that would be 120 divided by 0.15. Our answer is 800. So it doesn't matter if the constants or the numerical coefficients are decimal, we still apply the same principle when solving for the unknowns. That is, you free the expressions containing the unknowns from parentheses or groupings, move all the unknowns to the left side of the equation, and start transposing all the constants or all the terms that does not contain the unknown to the right side of the equation and apply appropriate balancing technique. That is, you can add from both sides, subtract from both sides, or multiply, divide both sides by a certain specific value. And that is how you solve linear equations.